If you would like to show some support for this channel, head on over to teespring.com and pick up your brand new Since Makes None merchandise with a hoodie, shirt, t-shirt, and coffee mug, as well as other merchandise. And while you're at it, right now I am doing a sale for 26% off by using the code RANT26. Thank you and enjoy the video. Hello, I'm your superhero critic, and I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome. And I wanted to do something new and take a look at some stuff that I've already reviewed before, starting with today's video. So, we're starting with a little bit of a new type of review where I'm just re looking at everything that I've already looked at. And this was reviewed all the way back in my first season with my first themed month of the Turtle movies. And this film was released in 1990 based on the comics that exploded in the late 80s and early 90s, featuring four mutated turtles that are also ninjas. This film was very different than the cartoon that was airing at the time, since they wanted to go darker and closer to the original black and white comics than the cartoons did. And because of that darkness, a lot of major studios would turn the film down until they finally got New Line Cinema to say yes. The film would release in March of that year. They then teamed up with the Jim Henson Company for the puppetry, and it would release to theaters. So, without further ado, let's relook at the original Ninja Turtles film from 1990. So first thing we have to talk about is how amazing the soundtrack to this film is. 35 years later, and I still listen to it whenever I'm in a down mood and need a pick-me-up or just need background noise while I'm editing. If you have not sat through the original soundtrack, sweets included, please do yourself a favor and listen to the whole thing. I listen to this soundtrack all the time. It is amazing, as well as the sequel soundtrack, but we'll get to that in March. So, our film officially begins with narration from April doing a report on the massive crime wave that is going on during the city, where things are disappearing and no one seems to notice anything before it's too late. There's rumors going on that it might be the Foot Clan, but somehow there's no evidence for it. Fake news. There's no such thing as the Foot. It is a Ninja Turtles hoax. On her way home, though, April is scared by a rat, then jumped by a couple teenagers, but before she gets hurt, the lights are then shut off and the turtles knock the teenagers out. But in the process, Raph loses his side, leaving everyone but Raph happy and excited over the night.
Damn!
This is also the moment in the film where me as a child learned the hard way not to repeat what Raph said as I met Soap. Raph is, of course, angry he lost a sigh and goes back out to calm down, while Don and Mikey discuss life without Splinter, and Mikey gives the best form of advice to the pizza man who's running late.
The tab's 13.
You're 2 minutes late, dude.
Ah, come on. I couldn't find a place.
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
And I have lived by that motto ever since the 90s. Never pay full price for late pizza. Meanwhile, Raph is out and he enjoys seeing critters, and after stopping a purse snatcher, he meets Casey Jones, played by Elias Koteas, leading to one of the best introductions of an anti-hero where they fight back and forth on how to deal with the thieves while beating the crap out of each other, including scenes straight out of Raphael #1, which I have reviewed on this channel before. Splinter then talks to Raph about his anger and that he should never hold it in and to try to lean on his brothers more while April's boss keeps checking in on her, trying to get her to stop digging into the foot more, but she is resilient and just ends up pissing off the chief of police.
Are you trying to tell me how to do my job?
No, the little piggy's upset. April heads to the subway to head home, but unknowingly is stalked by the Foot, who has a few words for her.
We've been waiting for you, Miss O'Neill.
What? Am I behind on my Sony payments again?
Yeah, and maybe, April, if you were actually on time with your payments, we wouldn't have gotten the Sonyverse! April tries to defend herself, but to no avail, and is knocked out before Raph runs in to save her, kicking everyone's butts. Raph knows she's not safe, so he decides to take her to the sewers, but doesn't realize he's being followed by a lone foot soldier the entire time. The other turtles are quick to think he's insane.
Why? Oh, I don't know. Because I wanted to redecorate. You know, a couple throw pillows, a TV news reporter. What do you think?
Well, that's one way to get a mail-order bride. April comes to and of course quickly screams, seeing herself surrounded by giant turtles and a rat.
Why don't I ever dream of Harrison Ford?
You and me both, April. Splinter sits and tells April and the audience the backstory of how the five of them got to their current states. Splinter came across them in the sewers covered in an ooze, and they began to mutate and even begin speaking. After the story, April realizes she's not dreaming and the turtles help her get home safely, but she doesn't know how to thank them other than with pizza.
I'd like to invite you all in, but, I really don't have anything to offer you guys except for, frozen pizza.
Let's go for it!
You said the magic word.
You guys eat pizza?
Doesn't everybody?
If your friend does not like pizza, they are not your friend. After the group joke around and bond a little bit, the turtles head back to the sewers only to find their home is trashed and Splinter is missing, leading to one of the best recorded scenes of the film as the camera pans around a very angry Raph making one of the most cinematic screams of all time. The turtles head back to April's looking for help.
What's wrong?
Splinter.
It hurt my finger. Charles gets a call from the chief about Danny, and the next morning, while the turtles are playing ninja to stay hidden, Charles begs April to drop the story she's been following, but she is dead set on cracking the story. While driving home, Charles and Danny get into a fight as his father is just trying to understand what his son is going through, but Danny runs away from the problem. Danny, are you okay? You okay? You okay, Danny? Danny runs to the Foot's hideout that is a 90s kid's dream filled with a massive arcade, skate park, and literally no rules. And a small cameo from a very young Sam Rockwell.
You got any cigarettes?
Regular or menthol?
What about a hooker? We are then finally introduced to the Shredder as the kids are called to a meeting area, and we are given one of the most iconic entrances for a villain in superhero film history. Not only with the amazing camera shots showcasing his walk to the middle of the room, but his speech to the kids saying he is the only one who loves them, not their family or society, gaslighting them into joining.
I am your father.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
The turtles watch April's news report as she talks about the Foot and calls the chief out. She also thanks Raph on the air and his brothers taunt him.
I think he's blushing.
I am not.
I think he's actually turning red.
Watch out, Donnie! You'll lose your turtley bits. Raph and Leo begin their fighting about what to do, causing Raph to storm out of the house. But as Raph blows off some steam, Casey happens to be keeping an eye on him while the Foot surrounds him and jumps him. Meanwhile, April comes home and starts giving the other turtles a tour of the antique shop, and eventually Raph is slowly outnumbered and thrown through the skylight.
Are you sure?
Don't worry. He'll probably be back any minute.
Is he?
No, he's alive. There.
Damn, I didn't think he meant that quickly. We get the famous Mikey is a better chucker than you scene, and this fight is then filled with a lot of action, with the turtles fighting the Foot off in many different slapstick comedy ways, but it's obvious that they are outnumbered as the Foot acts their way to dropping everyone to the lower floor of the building. We see that even Tatsu is now in the fight as they try to defend themselves but slowly get outnumbered. But the turtles learn that they have an unexpected friend as Casey Jones joins the fight.
Who the heck is that? Wayne Gretzky? On steroids?
No, Mikey, that's Jason from Timu. The Foot restart their attack, and an accidental axe strike sets the place on fire. April helps everyone escape the blaze as Charles calls to let April know that she is fired. This pisses off Shredder to no end, wanting to know how the turtles know how to fight so well. Tatsu then takes his anger out on all of the Foot, brutally hurting someone, and we can see that Danny is beginning to regret everything, especially as he starts opening up to Splinter. The movie slows down a lot as our group heads to April's third home. How she's able to afford 3 different places on a 90s reporter salary, I will never understand, but their vehicle is dead and Casey breaks the news to April about being fired, which of course starts a fight between the two of them. April then gives a narration speech while drawing different pictures of the turtles, and we see Casey and Donnie bonding, while Leo watches over Raph, and Casey and April also get closer. Raph finally wakes up, and Leo freaks out, wanting to help Raph get some food. Here, let me order him something from Uber. April talks about the four finally being whole again, but they know something is still missing as the Shredder still wants the Foot to keep an eye out for them. Leo gets a spiritual message from a very hurt Splinter, and he gathers his brothers for the fire. And our heroes are visited by their father's spirit, who tells them how proud of them he really is. And if you don't cry during this scene, you are dead inside. The turtles decide it's time to go back, and our group then head back to the sewers, but instantly find Danny, who has been hiding out in their home. Casey freaks out because he's claustrophobic and doesn't want to stay the night in the sewer, while Donnie and Mikey honor some soiled pizza. Danny sneaks off when everyone's asleep, but Casey happens to watch him and follows him to the Foot headquarters. Danny once again talks to Splinter, and he goes into his own backstory, which follows the original backstory of being Hamato Yoshi's pet, instead of opposed to them being the same character. Shredder then quickly realizes Danny's been hiding out with the turtles and sends the Foot to the sewers as Danny runs into Casey.
Recognize me now, kid? Hey? What's the deal? You gotta come with me. What are you talking about, come with you? And about to start. They're gonna kill Splinter.
The epic climax begins as we see the Foot heading to the turtles' lair in multiple ways, and the turtles begin kicking their butts while Casey and Danny help Splinter out, only to be met by Tatsu, starting a fight between the two of them. But once Casey gets one of his weapons of choice, he decides to go golfing with Tatsu as the ball. It's good! I'm sorry, I've never been good at sports, so I don't know what you would say here. The turtles continue to outdo the Foot now that they have the space to actually fight and are a full team, while Splinter and Casey try to convince the troubled teams that the Shredder does not care about them as they leave the compound. The turtles and the Foot take the fight to the streets, eventually heading to the roof, where eventually, once all the Foot is taken out, the Shredder makes his epic entrance. Ooh, that entrance gave me goosebumps. The Shredder shows the turtles he's not a pushover, and one by one they get their butts kicked, while he just barely breaks a sweat, taking down each turtle easily. And when Raph mentions Splinter, Leo is the one to lose his cool. The turtles throw their weapons because they want to protect their brother, and it's Splinter that ends up saving them as Shredder realizes who Splinter really is and tries to kill Splinter. But with a quick thinking and a nunchuck, Splinter outmaneuvers the Shredder. Splinter tries to talk some sense into Shredder, only for him to end up using a throwing knife, causing Splinter to drop Shredder into the back of the garbage truck that Casey closes in on our villain. The movie ends with the turtles reuniting with their father, the teens and the cops working together for what's going on. Danny pays April back and reunites with his father, and Charles gives April her job back. April and Casey finally kiss, and the turtles rejoice with old 90s slang, and Splinter making a funny.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Huh?
This film is amazing. To say this film was successful is putting it very, very lightly. The film overmet expectations by making $202 million back on a $13.5 million budget, making it not only the 9th highest grossing film in 1990, but also the most successful independent film made at that time. Of course, we would get 2 more sequels, but this film has stood as a testament that if the writers and directors are actual fans of the franchise and not just after cash grabs, the film will be more successful. And from there, the franchise has continued going strong for 35 plus years. So, that being said, if you've never sat and watched this movie, please do yourself a favor and enjoy this movie. It is corny, but it is meant to be. That being said, next week I want to take another look at something else I've already reviewed, and let's re-look at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. I'm your superhero critic, and I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome.
On the half shell, they're the heroes for. In this day and age, who could ask for more? The crime wave is high, with muggings mysterious. All police and detectives are furious, cause they can't find the source of this lethally evil force. This is serious, so give me a